Hi, freshmen. Today, I will be going over the scheduling process here at St. Charles North High School. I know many of you look forward to picking your classes for next school year, so today I will be sharing with you what that process will entail. Here we have the course scheduling process broken down into a few different steps so you can see and get an idea of the whole process and also see what is to come over the next couple of weeks. The first step is that teachers will input their recommendations into Home Access Center. Students are then able to review these selections with your teachers and with your family. This is a really great time for you to talk over any ideas with your parents about what classes you will be planning and would like to take for next school year. Once you input these selections, which will begin on November 13th and will then be open to you as a student to input these into Home Access Center, these must be completed before you meet with your counselor. If you would like a time to discuss and process any decision-making about classes or discuss your four-year plan, please go ahead and make an appointment with your counselor outside of the registration time to discuss this. For example, if you want to choose between two elective classes, that is absolutely okay for you to have that conversation with your counselor at your one-on-one registration meeting. If you would want to know what colleges are looking for or how to strategically plan for your future, that is typically a conversation that takes longer than 10 minutes, and it is recommended that is a time that you would schedule outside of your registration meeting. After you input your selections into Home Access Center, you will then meet with your counselor to review your courses that were entered, and you will make sure that your classes are correct, you're following the trajectory for time throughout high school, and you're meeting your graduation requirements. Please keep in mind, as important as this meeting is, class input selection is not a first come, first served basis. As long as you meet with your counselor in the specified time that is given to you, you are not at risk of not being given a class you want. However, it is important that you do put all of your classes you want in your course selection so you do have a better chance of getting the class you want for next school year. After you meet with your counselor for the course registration meeting, a verification letter will be sent home. Do not panic if you don't get this within the week of you meeting with your counselor. These typically come a few weeks after all course registration is completed. If you do notice an error on that course registration verification that is sent home, please make sure you contact your counselor by the deadline that is listed. If necessary, at the end of the school year, counselors will communicate any schedule conflicts to students so that we can be sure to resolve those before the next school year. So what is the purpose of your scheduling meeting? The meeting is a 10 to 12 minute focus meeting that is going to specifically meet the needs of what are the classes that you will be signing up for your sophomore year of high school. It is a time for you and your counselor to review the course selections in Home Access Center, review your current credits, as well as your academic standing. You should absolutely come prepared with any questions you have, and you are also scheduled during an assigned date and time. You can find this time either in posters in the hallway, in your email, and on your counselor's Google Classroom page. Please make note of the time that you're assigned as well as the date so that you can be sure that you attend the meeting and you are there to meet with your counselor. The meeting is not a time to start thinking about the selections that you may want to do. Your selections should be thoughtfully considered and inputted into Home Access prior to meeting with your counselor. For you as freshmen, you are scheduled to meet with your counselor the week of November 30th. You will see that this is a week long, so you may have a time that is not necessarily on the first day, but please make note of what time you are actually assigned to meet with your counselor. If for some reason you need to miss this meeting due to being out sick or for any other reason, there will be a makeup week of December 14th to the 18th. Please note that December 14th to the 18th is a makeup week only. This is time dedicated for students who may have had to miss their meeting during the dedicated week of November 30th. If you do miss your time November 30th, that is the week that you will be making up your meeting, the week of December 14th. Recommendations. Teachers make recommendations for students on what classes they recommend for you to be in for the next school year. We strongly suggest that you follow your teacher recommendations. Your teachers are the best people to make these recommendations as they see you in the classroom almost every day. These are based on your student performance of what you have performed so far this semester and the teacher's knowledge of the future course. For example, your English teacher has a really great idea as what the sophomore curriculum is for English, and they will be the best ones to recommend you for either standard or honors English 10. There are also some certain classes that will be locked in Home Access Center, meaning you cannot change or delete these classes. That would be a lunch study. Every student at St. Charles North is enrolled in a lunch study to ensure that they get a break in their day, which is much deserved. A student cannot waive a lunch study for a full-hour study hall. Here we have the breakdown of what our St. Charles North graduation requirements are, as well as what some college requirements are. With you almost completing your freshman year of high school, moving on to sophomore year, you will have already ticked off some of these credits that you need to graduate from North. For example, you are all in English. You have 1 year done out of the 4 that you need to graduate from St. Charles North. Please note that there's some college requirements that are not necessarily St. Charles North requirements. That may include art, music, or foreign language. If you may know that you want to go to college once you graduate from North, and maybe a college you're thinking about requires a foreign language requirement, sophomore year would be a really great time to begin taking a foreign language so that you have enough years to ensure that you meet that foreign language requirement for the college that you may or may not be thinking about. We absolutely recommend you review these entrance criteria for college of interest if they apply to you. And if you have any questions about where you stand with your credits, please be sure to ask your counselor at your registration meeting. With all of you being sophomores for next school year, here is a sample schedule. You will all be enrolled in an English 10 class, a math class, a science. You will all have lunch study, PE, driver's ed, and or health, an elective, or you can take a full period study hall. Just note that you can have a lunch study and a full period study hall in your schedule every semester as long as you pass all of your classes all 4 years of high school and still graduate with enough credits. And then you have room for a few electives sophomore year as well. A couple of things to note about the sample schedule. Social studies, if you notice, is not a requirement like what you currently have your freshman year. However, we do have a ton of elective options within the social studies department you can choose from. If you have already taken driver's ed and or health, you will sign up for 2 PE classes your sophomore year. If you have not taken health, you will absolutely take the sophomore year as it is a requirement. Driver's ed is also not a requirement for high school graduation. However, you can choose to take it privately. Also, if you took driver's ed your freshman year, you will not have to take that sophomore year. Sophomore year is a really great time for you to start taking a variety of classes that may potentially interest you for a career path after high school. There are a few elective options that you can choose from. In our course offering handbook, we have some really great options for you to explore some different things, try something new out, try something that you may not have thought of before. This is a really great year for you to do that and see what you may or may not be interested in. Choosing classes to put into Home Access Center is very important. Just because you choose a class, it does not necessarily mean you're guaranteed into that specific course. This could be due to a few reasons. It could be because it conflicts with another class that you may have requested. Sometimes AP classes, music, or teaching and learning practicum conflict with other classes because they're only offered at certain times of the day. There may also be too many students signed up for a class where we can't really accommodate every single student that signs up for it. However, when students sign up for classes, we really try to make sure that we get students into the classes that they request. However, it is not guaranteed, like mentioned. Some classes also have limited offerings. So if you do not get into your desired course, your counselor will communicate with you so you can work that out for your schedule. You will notice that you must have 6 classes in your schedule or the equivalent of 3 credits per semester. So please make sure you have enough classes inputted into Home Access Center. You have a much, much better chance of getting the classes you want when you put your selections into Home Access Center before the meeting with your counselor. The structure of our scheduling meetings will look a little bit different this year. So here's some information that we'll need you to know before your meeting. You will be responsible for logging into your counselor's virtual Zoom meeting at your assigned date and time. Again, these are posted and given to you in various ways. If you are physically in class, Mr. Peters will share a process on how to actually meet with your counselor. Your counselor will share their Zoom meeting link either in their Google Classroom and/or through email. Your counselor will admit you from the Zoom waiting room. If you're waiting there for a minute or two, please be patient. Your counselor may be meeting with someone else before you. Please note, if you would prefer an in-person meeting instead, please email your counselor directly so that the two of you can figure that out. Where can you find the different courses so you know what you're signing up for, or look for some ideas on what you can sign up for? If you go to our North High School homepage, you go to the Academics tab, there's a course offerings button at the top that you can choose, and this will take you to our course offerings handbook. Please take some time to familiarize yourself with this, as there's so many different options for you to choose from. You will also be inputting your class selection into Home Access Center. There is a step-by-step process for this, and you can access this from the CCR homepage. If you go to the St. Charles North website, choose the Students tab at the top, and then choose the CCR homepage, it will take you to the step-by-step process for this specific course registration. You will enter your courses directly into Home Access, like I mentioned before, and you will be directed on how to actually save your course selection so that they are ready for your counselor meeting. Thank you for listening to this presentation on the course selection for the 2021-2022 school year. If you have any questions about any of the classes that you may take, anything that you have about your four-year plan, or would like to know more about how to enter your courses into Home Access Center, please reach out to your counselor with any questions that you may have about this process. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you soon.